If you want to be a goalkeeper, you can't just stand there like a human statue hoping the ball will politely come to your hands. No, no, no. A proper goalkeeper has to be sharp, explosive, confident, and a little bit crazy. Because to be honest, who else volunteers to throw themselves in front of boots flying at 80 miles per hour? Only goalkeepers. Heroes, or lunatics, depending on how you look at it. Now, most beginner keepers mess up not because they're lazy, but because they don't know the right basics. They think it's all about jumping like Superman. Spoiler alert, it's not. The great goalkeepers, your Buffons, your Neuer, your Courtois, they don't rely on luck. They rely on technique. And today, I'm going to hand you 5 essential goalkeeper drills that are going to level up your handling and your confidence between the posts. But hold on, before we even get to the drills, let me tell you straight up, there are 7 key principles every goalkeeper needs to tattoo into their football brain. Think of these principles as the laws of goalkeeping gravity. Ignore them, and the universe punishes you. Live by them, and suddenly you're pulling off saves that make strikers cry into their boots. Here are the 7 we'll cover across today's video. 1. Positioning. Where you stand changes everything. 2. Footwork. Your feet don't matter if your feet are glued to the grass. 3. Catching and handling, because fumbling the ball is basically giving the other team a birthday gift. 4. Diving technique. No belly flops, please. 5. Distribution. How you start attacks, not just how you end them. 6. Commanding the box. Being vocal, bossing your defenders. 7. Mental toughness. The secret sauce nobody trains enough. Today, we're focusing on the first 2, positioning and footwork. Because if you don't nail these, the rest doesn't even matter. It's like building a mansion on quicksand. You're gonna sink, bro. So, let's start with the first principle. Principle 1, positioning. If I had $1 for every time I saw a beginner keeper stand flat on the line like a mannequin, hoping the ball will politely come to your hands, I'd buy myself a Premier League team by now. Positioning is your first superpower. And here's the golden rule. The closer you are to the shooter, the smaller the target looks. That's why Manuel Neuer is nicknamed the sweeper keeper. He doesn't just sit in the goal, he rushes out, cuts angles, and suddenly strikers are panicking like they've forgotten how to kick. But don't confuse rushing out with suicide missions. You're not supposed to sprint 30 yards out like a headless chicken. Positioning means calculating the angle, stepping forward, and making yourself big at the right moment. Here's a simple way to train it: the angle cone drill. Set up 2 cones about 6 yards apart. These represent the shooting lane. Have a teammate or coach shoot from different spots around the penalty area. Adjust your position every single time to cut down the angle. What you're training here is awareness. Don't just react when the shot comes, be in the right spot before the shooter even winds up. Great keepers are like chess masters. They're already 2 moves ahead. Now, when you first try this, you'll probably feel like you're shuffling around more than Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. That's normal. Stick with it. Over time, your positioning will become second nature. You'll start seeing shots and thinking, nah, not today, sunshine. And remember, your positioning isn't just about you. It's about making strikers doubt themselves. If you look huge in goal, confident, ready, sometimes that alone forces them to miss. It's psychological warfare, my friend. Which brings me nicely to the second principle. Principle 2, footwork. Now let's talk about your feet, because if your feet are slow, your hands are useless. You ever see a keeper dive late, stretch like spaghetti, and still get nowhere near the ball? That's poor footwork. The dive wasn't the problem, it was the movement before the dive. Key thing to remember, small, quick steps beat big, clumsy ones. You're not stomping like a dinosaur, you're gliding like a boxer in the ring. Think about how boxers shuffle side to side, always light, always balanced. That's you, but with gloves on. Here's the drill to fix it, the ladder shuffle drill. Grab an agility ladder or even just mark boxes with tape. Move side to side, forward, backward, staying on the balls of your feet. Keep your knees bent, weight slightly forward like you're ready to spring. At first, you'll trip, you'll tangle, you'll curse at the ladder, but give it a week and your movement will become lightning. Suddenly, shots that used to zip past you, you're sliding across and smothering them. And here's where I get sarcastic. Don't think skipping rope is just for boxers. Goalkeepers need that same bounce. Rope skipping is like a cheat code for footwork. Try it, just 10 minutes a day. You'll thank me the first time you beat a striker to a rebound just because your feet were faster. Another gem, the side-to-side shuffle drill. This one's simple but brutal. Place 2 cones about 3 meters apart. Shuffle explosively between them for 20 seconds, rest, repeat. Always face forward, never cross your feet, always ready to dive. Do this, and I promise your defenders will stop yelling, "Keeper's too slow." Instead, they'll start trusting you because they know you can cover ground like a cheetah. And think about Companion when he tried to save that penalty against Aguero years ago and completely guessed wrong. He looked like he was stuck in concrete. That's what happens when footwork isn't sharp. Compare that to someone like Alisson Becker. His footwork is calm, efficient, always ready. He doesn't waste steps, he's just where he needs to be. So, positioning and footwork, 2 principles that seem boring at first glance, but are the foundation of everything. Because let's face it, you can have cat reflexes, but if you're standing in the wrong spot with lead feet, you're just gonna look like a meme on TikTok. And here's the best part. Once you start training these 2 consistently, the game slows down. Suddenly, you're not panicking, you're calm. You see the striker's foot about to strike, and you already know where you need to be. That's when football gets fun. That's when you stop feeling like a beginner and start feeling like a real goalkeeper. Master these, and you're already halfway to being the guy or girl who keeps your team in the game. So now that we've nailed positioning and footwork, let's crank it up a notch. Because if all you ever do is shuffle around and look big, you're basically just a traffic cone with gloves. The real difference maker comes when you start handling the ball like it's glued to your gloves, diving like a panther, distributing like Pirlo, and commanding your defense like a general at war. And yes, I know some of you are probably thinking, "Coach, do I really need all that? Can't I just block shots?" Sure, if you want to play Sunday League forever and get roasted by your mates every weekend, but if you want to actually dominate as a goalkeeper, you need the full package. Principle 3, catching and handling. All right, this one's obvious, right? If you can't catch the ball, you're basically a hand model pretending to play football. But here's the thing, beginners don't practice catching the right way. They grab at the ball, they panic, or they smack it away like they're playing volleyball. Golden rule here is W hands. Always form a W with your thumbs together when catching high balls. That way the ball hits your hands and sticks like Velcro. For low balls, scoop them up. Don't bend over like you're tying your shoelaces mid-game. Drill 3, handling machine drill. Stand about 8 to 10 yards from a teammate with a bag of balls. They fire balls at your chest, your face, your sides, random, rapid fire. Hold every single one. No drops, no fumbles. At first, you'll probably look like a clown juggling tomatoes, but keep at it and your confidence grows. Eventually, catching a ball under pressure feels like as natural as scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m. And here's a pro tip. Practice in wet conditions. Seriously, get your gloves wet, your kit muddy, and train anyway. Because in a real game, that ball will be slippery, the striker will be breathing down your neck, and you can't exactly pause the match to grab a towel. Train tough, play easy. Remember David De Gea in his prime at Manchester United? Dude's hands were basically glue. Strikers hated playing against him because every shot just stuck. That's what you're aiming for. Principle 4, diving technique. Now let's get into the sexy stuff, diving. Everyone loves the Instagram save, the full stretch, fingertips just touching the ball kind of moment. But here's the ugly truth. Most beginner dives like they're falling off a bed. No form, no power, just splat. Proper diving starts with two things: push off your feet and land safely. If you just collapse sideways, you're going to injure yourself and look ridiculous. Instead, think of it like this. Your feet generate the spring, your body follows, and your hands lead the way. Drill 4, the mat dive drill. Lay down a crash mat or soft surface, or even a pile of gym mats. Start from a crouch, then push off explosively sideways. Extend your top hand towards an imaginary ball. Focus on landing with your side,
not your elbow or hip. Do this until it feels natural, because in a game, you won't have time to think. You'll just explode. Another one, reaction dive drill. Have a partner drop balls randomly, left or right, just out of your reach. Dive instantly, no hesitation. This trains your brain and your body to react as one. Think about Iker Casillas in that 2010 World Cup final when he saved Arjen Robben's one-on-one. That wasn't luck. That was years of perfect diving technique, exploding off his feet, making himself big, and timing it to perfection. One save, and Spain wins the World Cup. That's the kind of impact your dives can have. And here's my sarcastic warning. If you dive wrong, don't come crying to me when you look like you belly flopped into a swimming pool. Master the form, then add the drama. Principle 5, distribution. Now let's talk about something that separates keepers from legends. Distribution. Listen, you're not just a shot stopper, you're the first playmaker. If all you do is punt the ball like you're playing rugby, you're wasting golden opportunities. Ederson at Manchester City, my goodness, the guy pings 60-yard passes straight onto a winger's boot like he's got a GPS built into his foot. That's modern goalkeeping. Drill 5, target kicks and throws. Set up cones at different distances, short, medium, long. Practice hitting those cones with throws and goal kicks. Alternate between low, quick throws and high, lofted kicks. Another gem is the bowling throw drill. Hold the ball like you're bowling in cricket. Roll your arm and release low, sending it zipping across the ground. Perfect for counterattacks when your winger is sprinting up the line. Distribution is all about accuracy, not power. Nobody remembers the keeper who kicked it out for a throw-in, but everyone remembers the keeper who starts a lightning counter that ends in a goal. That's how you make highlight reels, my friend. Principle 6, commanding the box. Okay, this is where you stop being just a player and start being the boss. If you're silent in goal, your defense will treat you like a traffic cone. But if you're vocal, loud, clear, confident, you become the general. You tell defenders where to stand, who to mark, when to step up. Commanding the box also means owning your space. Cross coming in, that's your ball. Don't hesitate, don't wait for your defender to clean it up. Charge out, fists up, and make it yours. Pro example, Peter Schmeichel, the man was terrifying. He'd scream at his defenders, order them around like chess pieces, and then fly out to punch crosses like a man possessed. That's why Manchester United won so much in the 90s. They had a keeper who scared strikers and his own teammates. Practical way to train this? Cross collection drill. Have teammates send in crosses from the wings. Your job is to come out, shout "keeper" like you mean it, and grab the ball. No half measures. Either you get it clean or you don't. At first, you'll feel awkward shouting like a maniac, but trust me, your team will love you for it. Communication saves goals before they even happen. And finally, the secret ingredient, mental toughness. Because here's the hard truth. As a keeper, you will make mistakes. Everyone does. You will drop a ball, you will get chipped, you will dive the wrong way. And when it happens, everyone notices. No one remembers the striker who misses 3 sitters, but the keeper who messes up once, that sticks. That's why you need mental toughness. Shake it off, reset, and focus on the next save. Think about Gianluigi Buffon, still saving penalties at 40 because he never let one mistake define him. Or Tim Krul, who came on just for penalties in the 2014 World Cup. Pressure? What pressure? He thrived on it. How do you train this? Visualization. Before matches, picture yourself making saves. Picture yourself commanding the box. Build confidence in your mind first. Another trick? Train with pressure. Have teammates crowd you, shove you a little during corner drills, distract you. The more chaos you can handle in training, the calmer you'll be in games. And here's my sarcastic pep talk. If you can't handle pressure, maybe take up chess. But if you want to be a real goalkeeper, you need a lion's heart. So, let's wrap it up quickly. We've covered positioning, footwork, catching and handling, diving technique, distribution, commanding the box, and mental toughness. 7 principles, 5 essential drills, and a blueprint for turning yourself from a nervous beginner into a confident shot stopper. And here's the thing, you're not going to master this in a week or even a month, but if you practice consistently, if you push yourself, one day you'll look back and laugh at the goalkeeper you used to be. Football is full of famous stories where the goalkeeper was the difference. Think of Jurgi Dudic in the 2005 Champions League final, pulling off those penalty saves to win Liverpool the cup. Or Lev Yashin, the only goalkeeper to ever win the Ballon d'Or. These guys weren't superhuman, they were just relentless in training. So be relentless. Show up, do the drills, improve a little every day. Before you know it, you'll be the one your teammates trust, the one your opponents fear, and the one pulling off saves that make the crowd gasp. Now, if this video fired you up, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which drill you're going to try first. And don't just watch. Get outside, grab a ball, and practice, because the best goalkeepers aren't born, they're built. And who knows, maybe one day a striker will look at you in goal and think, "Oh no, not this guy again." That, my friend, is the dream.